Thomas, and I'm here to introduce you to the Sutherland Pino Noir.
I'm the enologue and agronomist of the Tenuta, that is owned by the family Braggiotti since 1980. It's a beautiful domain in the western part of Ольтрепо, Paveze.
My name is Bruce Taylor. I'm the winemaker for Tohu and Pino wines, and here we are in the Owateri Valley in Mальборо in New Zealand. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit today about our Pino Noir wines.
Everybody tried to bring Pino Noir in a lot of places in the world, but only a really few places are really perfect to grow Pinot.
The Pino Noir grape was brought to South Africa in 1927. It is a very fussy grape variety and needs to be planted in the right region or area in order to get the best results. The area we've planted the Pino Noir is in the Elgin Valley, which is right near the coast. It's a cool climate, and we've identified that as the best site for us to be making this grape.
Owateri Valley is a really cool part of New Zealand, which is a cool climate part of the entire world. So varieties like Pino Noir have always struggled to make great wines in really warm parts of the world, so this is a perfect environment for it. This is cool, and you get nice low crops, and it's really in a world which is very akin to Burgundy in France, which is really the home of Pinot Noir.
We are the third area in the world for hectares of Pinot Noir. After Champagne and Burgundy, there is Ольтрепо, that is the third largest area for growing Pinot Noir in the whole world.
Pinot Noir grape has a very thin skin and it is susceptible to disease. It therefore needs a lot of care and attention to make sure you can get the best results.
Pinot Noir is traditionally quite a difficult varietal to grow and to make into wine, so it has a lot of challenges. I think that a lot of those challenges are sort of mitigated in New Zealand by our cool climate, which really limits the cropping level in it. So what you want in Pinot Noir is a very low crop, so you get nice concentrated fruit and a very long, cool growing season as well. So you want some warm days, but you don't want really hot days, and you need some nice cool nights as well to sort of lock in the acidity and the freshness, which I think you see coming through in our Pinot Noir. So even though it's a big challenge for us to grow up here in the mountains and in this cool part of New Zealand, it's also rewards it. We get the rewards in the very good years as well.
You have to be really delicate with it since ever, since the plantation and also the pruning and the growing of this really difficult variety to cultivate. And also in the cellar, we try every day to be really delicate and gentle.
I think for us here in the Owateri Valley, and for Tohu wines in particular, our ideal style is really working with the freshness that the fruit gives us. So we get very good clean fruit, good concentrated flavours, and a softness to it. So you're really looking for a wine which is not very extracted in tannin, not a lot of alcohol, not a lot of new oak. So we're looking for a soft, feminine, sort of supple, and feminine is a great word for it because it describes that sort of softness and the beauty that you will get in a fine Pinot Noir.
We want to have an our style of Pinot Noir, because Pinot Noir is really difficult, but is also magic, because it's a variety that is really able to translate a terroir, an area in the wine. So our favorite style of Pinot Noir is a wine that is able to express the varietal character, but also to express and to communicate the character of the soil and of the terroir where it grows.
Some grape varieties like and suit big flavors, but Pinot Noir for me is very different. Pinot Noir suits the more delicate, complex flavors such as musk, Turkish delight, and dried flowers. And that's very much a style of wine we are trying to make with our Pinot Noir. It's more about complexity than it is about power.
I have to say that Burgundy remain the real example for Pinot. I've been a lot of time because our consultant is from Burgundy. He works with 150 domain in Burgundy.
I think for all winemakers, archetype sort of Pinot Noir in the world is coming out of Burgundy, so that sort of softness with concentration of flavour is exactly what we are all aspiring to make, I guess, in our own ways as well. We also look in New Zealand, we see more wines from around the world as well. We see a little bit of Australian Pinot Noir and some Californian, Oregon. I think Oregon is probably the favourite out of North America, but we always come back to Burgundy.
The best Pinot Noirs come from France, and they're also the most expensive Pinot Noirs. But there are good Pinot Noirs from all over the world, such as the west coast of the USA, New Zealand and South Africa. But you can't beat the classic Burgundy if you want great Pinot Noir.
Really good Pinot Noir is always going to have a pretty premium price point. It's very difficult to grow good Pinot Noir and to make it with proper, using French oak, hand-picked and all the techniques which we use, which are very high quality. It's very difficult to do this on a budget and to make cheap wine. So good Pinot Noir, quality Pinot Noir is always going to attract a premium and be at a high price, in my opinion.
I hope it will be always expensive because it needs a lot of work to do. So if you find a cheap Pinot Noir, probably something isn't good, because it's not possible to make a cheap Pinot.
Firstly, it's difficult to grow, and you also don't get very big crop levels. Therefore, there will always be an element of scarcity about good Pinot Noir. And as soon as a good wine is scarce, the demand is increased and the price normally is higher too. Great French Burgundies are incredibly expensive. You could easily be paying 3,000–4,000 euros for a Domaine de la Romani Conti. Luckily, our Sutherland Pinot Noir is much more affordable, so a very good option.
It's also really interesting to pair Pinot Noir with food.
Pinot Noir is a very versatile grape variety. Not only can it be enjoyed on its own, because it's very light and very delicate, but it also suits a very wide array of food types. I enjoy Pinot Noir with quite full-flavoured hearty dishes, such as a cassoulet or a lamb stew, but it's also great with charred grilled steaks or roast chicken.
Roasted chicken, like poulet de Bresse, that is really typical of Burgundy. Also escargot are really good with Pinot, but also pigeon. Here we have a lot of wild pigeon, and wild pigeon and Pinot is a great pairing, because you have the juiciness of the pigeon and the juiciness of the Pinot, and it's a great pairing.
I like game, I like something like a wild boar, a little bit of deer, or something, some duck or something like that. But I think, for availability, New Zealand lamb is an absolute perfect mix with a perfect blend.
Our Sutherland Pinot Noir is designed more in the classical European style. We look for more delicate flavours that are complex and very interesting. It's not just about fruit weight and fruit power. The wines spend 9 months in French oak barrels. The wines normally are best enjoyed from about 3 years from vintage date till about 10 years from after vintage date.
Terrazze, that is the younger one, aged only in stainless steel, from the younger vineyards. And in this wine we want to save all the freshness and all the elegance of Pinot. So we make a really soft maceration, and then we bottle it really soon in the springtime. So we freeze all the freshness in the bottle.
Here at Tohu and Kono Wines, we make 3 tiers of Pinot Noir. We make a Kono Pinot Noir, which is sourced from our company Vineyards from here in Mальборо and in Nelson. So it's a South Island blend. It's a little bit fruity and very approachable. I think a really good introduction to New Zealand Pinot Noir. Very fruity, very delicious. As we move up into the tiers, we move up into our Tohu Pinot Noir, which is a single valley Pinot. So it comes from the Arvideri Valley, from 2 vineyards in the valley, both company vineyards. So it's all hand-picked, a little bit more serious, more structured. And then into our reserves, we have our Rory Reserve, which is a very small production, very high quality French oak, hand-picked. It's a very select parcel of the vineyard where I'm standing at the moment. So there's a very clear sort of step up in the tiers and in the price as well.
Noir is our flagship wine. We are really well known all around the world, and you can find the character of the winery in this wine because it's made with the same vineyards in Sutherland. It is a way to translate our terroir in a bottle of wine.
That you can find all of our Pinot Noirs through wine discovery throughout Russia.
And we are really, really proud that you can find our Pinot in Russia. Thank you to Wine Discovery.
During the current national lockdown that we have here in South Africa, all alcohol sales are banned, and this is obviously devastating for us wine producers. We are still allowed to export, so please support South Africa, buy as much South African wine as possible, and our Sutherland Pino Noir and the full range of Sutherland wines is available in Russia at Wine Discovery.